Hey, welcome back to the channel. Thank you to our two voters for this week's video. We're going to be talking about accessories. Accessories are something that go hand in hand with every firearm you might want to own, because how are you going to carry it if you don't have the proper accessories? Which I lump holsters in there as well for accessories, because where are you going to put it? But really, it's all about figuring out what you want and how you're going to carry it and what are you going to use it for primarily. Now, this might not come as any kind of surprise, but I view what firearm you want to carry is completely suggestive on what situation you want to carry it for. Say you're going out into the woods, you might want to have something that can shoot 410 birdshot out of it for snakes or anything. But if you're going into the city and you're worried about maybe somebody coming out and mugging you or any kind of gang activity, you might want a 9mm. But before we get into all that, let's get into how and why you want to carry one kind of way. For holsters, there's two main types. That's four. There's two main types of holsters. IWB, no, that's OWB, on the waistband. God, I am all over the place. I need to stop trying to talk so fast. I've tried to film this video 5 times with this new phone that I'm recording with, and it's messing me up every time. There's two main types of holsters for your handgun. IWB, in the waistband holsters, and OWB, on the waistband holsters. On the waistband holsters refer to a holster that goes on your waistband or on your belt and can be placed at any position around the clock that you prefer to have. Say you want to do a cross draw. You draw across your body to grab your holster. You can take if you're right-handed, you can take your right-handed holster that you would put at your I'm going to use you for reference, at your 4 o'clock position about here, and you could rotate it around to be about maybe, oh God, I don't have a clock handy. You can rotate that around to your 11 to 10 o'clock position. On the waistband holsters are primarily used for open carrying, but during the winter months or if you're wearing long coats or anything, they can be quite comfortable for concealed carry. For on the waistband holsters, it's fairly important that you have some type of retention to make sure that somebody doesn't just run up behind you and just grab it off your belt. Like for the case of these leather ones, this nice leather strap just goes over the firearm, buckles in. This one's for the 357 Magnum. And if I didn't have that lock on there, keep your firearms locked up some kind of way while they're not in use, kids. So it just goes in, and you put that latch right over and buckle it in. Now there's 3 different levels of retention when it comes to holsters. Level 1, friction, not primarily used for anybody other than competition shooters. Level 2, friction with some other mechanical means. And I don't have a level 3 holster. That would be something like a safari holster. They have typically 3 different ways to hold on to it. It'd be the friction, the strap, or in some cases, like this paddle holster here, you would take it, if I can angle it right for you, there, stop shaking, and put it in, and this paddle loops into where the trigger guard is, so you can't just pull it out without pressing on the paddle, and then you can draw. With all that being said, my favorite for OWB holsters are these leather ones like this. This one is made by Gunflower, not particularly the best brand, because I got another holster for my 1911 by Gunflower. This here paddle holster, which I'm not a big fan of, mainly because of how much it rattles once it's in there. I'm a much bigger fan of the leather holsters, not only because I feel like they look better, I might be a bit of a FUD, but it also doesn't rattle around in there, and I'm not hearing clanking with every other step I take. But that being said, there are so many different varieties. Like if you're carrying a revolver, like the Taurus Judge, and you want extra rounds. You got extra round storage right there for you. This is a good example of a cross draw holster. You can, this one, since I'm right-handed, it goes at about on the 11 o'clock position on my belt for my Derringer, and I just think it looks nice. And again, extra ammo storage. Now, in the waistband holsters is what I primarily carry for, and they're used almost pretty much exclusively for concealed carry. This one is a crossbreed reckoning system, and I like it. It's the most comfortable in the waistband holster I've gotten. It was about $70, and this little claw here was an extra $8 for some odd reason. But they are completely modular. You can have the sidecar here detached. You don't even have to get the leather backing for the sidecar. But overall, just the most comfortable for me. I actually have 2 of those. But you can also get you a little pancake holster. And if you notice with all these in the waistband holsters, they're all friction based, because for somebody to get to your firearm, they would have to go through your clothes if you're concealed carrying to get it and then draw it. But it's all friction based. This one's not very comfortable. It's the only reason I still hold on to it, because if I want to put a light on my Taurus G2C, this is the only holster I was able to find to fit the light that I bought and still be able to carry it. Now, say you're wearing a tight-fitted shirt and you still want a concealed carry, you can get something like this deep concealment. This is a urban tactical holster. How it works is this end hooks onto your belt here. This magnetic clip comes on, and when you need to draw, you can just pull it up, and then bada bing, bada boom. No, wait. If you need to draw it, bada bing, bada boom, you just pull that magnetic strap. This whole thing comes up out of your pants, and there's your firearm ready for you to draw. I like the idea of this one, but this one's a bit too grippy on my 1911. I have trouble drawing it if I need running drills. If I try to draw too fast, it grabs onto it and just can't get it out fast enough. But speaking of deep concealment stuff, or if you want to be a noir detective for Halloween, you can get you a shoulder holster. No, don't fall down. They make shoulder holsters for just about every type of firearm there are, and they typically come with extra storage for ammunition. If you got a revolver, you can get speed. What are they? They're called speed something. They're called speed loaders. Who would have thunk it? But either way, this one's from a 1911 again. You carry 2 extra mags with it. Typically, you can get 2 extra speed loaders for your revolver, and this varies. It's also adjustable in size. If I can find where it goes, you unscrew those and adjust it to fit however you want, and then down here clips onto your belt. Now, say you're operating primarily in the dark, you work overnight, and you want to be able to carry and then still see what you're shooting at. You get you a light. Now, if you're going to put a light on your firearm, I would definitely recommend you just carry a standalone flashlight as well, which you could work in tandem with the light. If you watch too many movies or play too many video games, when somebody pulls out a flashlight, they like to cross like this, put on extra stability. Stop shaking the phone. Stop. You can use your arm to brace while you work the flashlight in the other hand. But I would recommend that just so you don't get in the habit of, say, if you're aggressive much. Sorry, the cats were picking on one another. But you carry a flashlight just so that you don't get in the habit of checking whatever's around you with the flashlight on your firearm. Because you go out to check something, making some noise, and you use your firearm to check with it. All of a sudden you're pointing a loaded firearm. Could you stop? If you're getting used to using the flashlight on your firearm all the time for checking whatever's going around, all of a sudden you're pointing a loaded firearm at, say, a possum that you just need to shoo away from your property, or a kitten that somehow wandered on, and nobody wants to shoot cats unless you're sick in the head. It won't pause. Okay, we're just going to continue from here. But yeah, you also want to make sure whatever flashlight, this is a solo fish light and laser. So you got 2-in-1 there. But whenever you're picking them out, you want to make sure you find a holster that'll fit it. Or you buy a holster or a light that comes with the holster, yada yada. Either way, that they're compatible. Because like I mentioned earlier, the only holster I found that fits this particular light on this particular handgun is that pancake holster, and it's not very comfortable to carry. And that goes the same for optics too. Say you want to get a red dot on there, you need to make sure that your firearm is milled for it. Like these rear end sights, they can unscrew and I can get a micro red dot to put on there. And try and sight zero that in. But you're also going to get what you pay for whenever you get anything that you need to zero in. Like the laser on this solo fish, it doesn't hold very well. I've put it on here and let it sit for a couple weeks, and then went back to check it and see if it was still at 0, and it just drifted a bit to the left. I did nothing with it. I let it sit for a while, and it's just lost its 0 like that. It's not really worth it, but as a flashlight, it's good. What you get, what you pay for, is what I'm saying. Like this reflex sight, I'm not sure if it's any good. I haven't had the chance to use it. I got it zeroed in on my AR, but I don't know if it'll hold that 0 very well. You do get what you pay for, unfortunately. There's no real good, super cheap, easily affordable things out there, but it is what it is. But the important thing is, when selecting any kind of accessories to go with your firearm, it's important to think about what you want to use it for and how is it going to affect how you carry. Like putting a light on here, it changes the footprint drastically than carrying it straight. Putting an optic on there is, depending on what type of optic you put on there. If you put a red dot on there, that's another battery or another thing to be charged. Like this light, this is rechargeable. It's another thing to look after and look forward to. I prefer using red dots for aiming, but I can't deny that having a flashlight is fairly handy. I have a similar, not the same brand, but another laser flashlight combination on my home defense shotgun, and I wouldn't dream of taking it off just because it'd be that handy in a home invasion situation. But there's also plenty of gimmicky things out there. I don't remember whose short I saw it on, but somebody brought out a knife that went on the bottom of your magazine, which doesn't make it makes sense if you're thinking that much into combat. And sure, you got your heavy brick of a thing that you can use, spin around, grab it by the barrel, and use to bonk with somebody. Why not put a knife at the end of it? But if you're having a malfunction, I forget how the acronym actually goes. It's like TAPS or something. But part of it is you slap the magazine. If you got a knife at the bottom of it, how are you going to slap it unless you stab it into something? And then you run the risk of losing your knife on the thing. All in all, that's about all I can really think of to talk to you about accessories for. The main thing is, once you figure out what handguns you want to carry, you figure out what you want to use it for, or how you're primarily going to be using it, and at night or during the day, whether or not you're comfortable with you feel a red dot is necessary, or a light or a laser. It's all up to you. Do your research. Look at the reviews, not just the first 5 that pop up. You need to go all the way down and read through all the reviews, because sometimes, I know on Amazon, they try to sneak in airsoft equipment for regular firearms. Like this solo light or solo fish light laser was about $30, and like I was saying, the 0 on the laser drips, but as just a straight flashlight, I'd say it's pretty good. I like it. But that's about all I can think to ramble on about. Just make sure that you're comfortable and you figure out where you like to put things. don't be afraid to switch it up. Like I carry appendix, meaning that this primarily goes in the front of my body, facing this way, so I can draw here. But if you want to carry behind the back, like they do in the Hollywood movies and whatnot, you'd get the same type of holster, but you'd have to get the opposite hand if you would draw was like this is a right-handed holster around the back, it becomes left hand, so on and so forth. It's just something to think about. But as long as I need to stop hitting this thing, as long as you are comfortable carrying whatever it is and you train with it, you all stay safe out there.